welcome to the Easton.Online podcast. I'm your host, Elliot Marshall. And what this podcast is here to do, it's here to help you gain strategies and tactics and tools that are going to help you grow in your martial arts business. If you have a martial arts school, a gym, this is one of my passions, is how we spread the message of how to really grow culture and business and some ways that we do it the best with our people, with our staff, with our clients. So I hope you enjoy. Give a listen. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How you doing?
Oh, good. Just drinking my coffee over here.
I scared the shit out of you yesterday.
A little bit. Seems to be a common theme. No notice on the podcast.
Yeah. Jordan and I were talking. I'm getting ready to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. And he does such a great job editing and stuff that when he was like, yesterday we were doing some work for the Easton.Online project. Mm-hmm. And he said, yo, as soon as you get back, like that Monday, we got to get on it. We have to do a podcast so that I can rush and hurry up. And that just sounded terrible to me.
Yeah, no.
So I said, hey, I didn't give anybody any notice. I got you first and said, hey, podcast tomorrow. Oh, God, you're allowed now. You know? And then I told Jordan, hey, cancel your morning. Because we're doing a podcast.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. Mm-hmm. How's your day going?
So far, so good. I listened to some of the other podcasts this morning, drank coffee at home, hung out with the animals.
Which ones did you listen to?
Mike's, Sachi's, the beginning of Peter's. I ran out of time. And Amal's.
Mm-hmm. What'd you think so far?
They're good. Yeah. I like that they are businessy, but they're not boring. It still has the people piece.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's just conversation, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, that's how I see it. We'll just talk about what it is we do. Mm-hmm. So you are similar to Sachi. I think you guys got hired right around the same time, correct?
Yes. Right when the new academy, or the Boulder Academy, was moving into the new space. She was a little bit before me, and then Sachi was full-time, and I worked part-time for a while because I was in college.
Okay, hold on. What do you mean she was a little bit before you? Explain it. Like she started before you?
She started a little bit before me.
Okay,
like I interviewed, and then I didn't get hired right away. They called me like a month later.
Oh, no.
Yep.
You were a shitty interview.
No, I had a great interview.
Well, how can you say that? We didn't hire you.
So I was told, and who knows if it's true or not, that you guys had found someone from within the academy that you wanted to go with, and you guys always tried to hire within first.
We do always try to hire within first. That's very true.
Yep.
So so I know Sachi worked in Old Boulder. Mm-hmm. You never worked in Old Boulder.
I had my interview in Old Boulder.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds good.
It's the only time I walked in the building.
It's a dance studio now. Have you seen that?
Uh-huh. We actually do a trade with them. I've done some dance classes there.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're cool.
Sick.
They're good people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. So then you came on board. Were you at the big meeting in that office when everyone trained on Pearl Street? Were you there for that?
No, I wasn't there for that.
Okay, so you were past that even.
Yeah, it was end of January. So you guys were already in the space. UMC was rolling. I came in, and it was like, oh, we have all these leads.
Yeah, we fucked up. We needed more employees.
Yeah. So that was me.
What was it like for you? Because again, super heavy male, super heavy jiu-jitsu. A good culture. I liked our culture. I've always liked our culture. I mean, I've liked it at every stage, but probably not what the culture is now. So what was that like for you in the beginning?
It was inviting and intimidating at the same time. You know, you have this really tight-knit group of people who all get along, love each other. Everyone likes to hang out, and you're coming in as an outsider. And I've never really done martial arts before either. I don't think I did a class for 3 months because I was scared. And then I did it, and I was like, what was I afraid of?
So you were working for us and scared?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Afraid to step on the mat. You know, you hear like the yelling and like, people kicking the bags, and it can be intimidating to walk in the door there. So I think that experience definitely has helped me in selling memberships, like knowing what it's like to walk in as a complete outsider.
Right, because I would say it's like you're probably not intimidated anymore.
No.
But I would say the same you, like take you not working for us, walk in the door now, you would be intimidated.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's loud, it's chaos in there. you Googled us, and Shane Carwin punching Frank Mir in the face with a bloody skull pops up, right?
Yeah, you're like,
and we
ooh.
talk about this a lot. So talk more about that experience, like you were in the building, but yet still intimidated.
Yeah. So, I come in, I was working a little bit in the evenings, just like for the rush. And they were like, hey, you're a front desk person. If you want to sell, if you want to work for us, you have to take some classes. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But just kept putting it off, and it was even getting to know the people. I still was just a little hesitant to step on the mat because of, like you said, that chaos. People are loud. But then you do it and you're like, oh, this is so fun. Everyone's so welcoming. Everyone wants to help you out. They're excited for you to step on the mat and take part in this thing that everybody loves so much. So the tables turned rather quickly as soon as you just like take that first step, I guess.
It's such a good lesson, right? Just in your life, because we're always so scared of things.
Yeah.
Like our whole lives.
The unknown.
The unknown. Yeah. And then as soon as it becomes known, it's like, what was wrong with me?
Yeah. Like,
what was wrong with me?
I wish I hadn't waited 3 months. I could have been like already on my way.
For sure. So talk about your work experience a little bit. Like what, when you first got hired, and we were like, we didn't have everything down so pat, like we have everything down so pat now. Yeah. What was it like then?
Well, so I started working pretty young. I got a job like bussing tables at the restaurant my dad worked at when I was 13. So
Where'd you grow
up? Crested Butte, Colorado.
Oh, so you're from Colorado.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't make it too far, but just far enough away for college. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'd worked in restaurants a lot. I'd bussed, I'd hostessed. So I understood that front of house kind of feel, being welcoming and just kind of giving that good vibe to someone who's coming in. You don't know what their day has been like. So I understood that a lot, but I'd never done sales before. And I'm a pretty like extroverted person. I can talk, I can learn names. So that part wasn't challenging for me, but not having the systems like we do now, there was kind of the Elliot and Mike approach to selling where it was like, okay, sounds good. Yes, come sign up. Where that didn't work for me as well.
Did she just shit on me?
No, I think she built the foundation you created.
But, it's like just learning about, you guys weren't aggressive or being sleazy, but it was just different than how I would approach something. And I remember sitting in meetings with Jake Bell later on, just in the little Boulder office and being like, I don't know how to turn it up to that level in a sale.
What do you mean, Jake Bell level?
To like you and Mike. You were just like always,
Well, I think part of it for me and Mike, was we're expressing our passion for what we do, and you might not have had any passion for it yet. You were still kind of scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So how can you sell the membership in and really believe in it, but not? It didn't change your life yet.
No.
Easton hadn't changed your life.
No.
Where Easton had changed mine and Mike's life. So I'm like, how the fuck are you? When I a little bit in my head, there's no fucking way you can't sign up.
So I think the answer to that, not having had the martial art change my life, it was passion for the community.
Right.
That helped me sell. Knowing that, even now, I don't do classes every day. I'm not super advanced in any of the disciplines, but I have a passion for the community and the people and what this job has given me. And that's what helped me with sales.
What has the job given you?
So much. I started just part-time. I expected this just to be like a college job. I was lucky I had tuition and rent taken care of for me in school, but if I wanted a phone, if I wanted gas in my car, insurance, I had to work on top of going to school. So I had it good, but had to, get a job. And I was like, I actually had interviewed at the Downer as well. And I was like, well, I could be a cocktail waitress at the Downer.
So you would have known Andrew early.
Would have known Andrew early, yeah. Or I could go and work at a gym, and I figured that was healthier for me. So, but I just expected it to be a part-time job, and then it turned out being something. Here we are, 6 years later, and this is a career, and it's because of the people that I stayed. Mike especially, and I know Sachi has said the same thing. Just one of those people that you want to get behind them, and you believe in what we're doing, and you've seen what this community has done for so many different people, and that's why I wanted to stay.
What has it done for you?
I mean, I was kind of a bit of a mess in college. I was drinking a lot, and I'm an argumentative person.
No, we get along so great.
Right.
All the time. We agree on every issue, Sarah.
Yeah. That's sarcasm.
Yeah, we could talk about Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
But we won't.
Right. And so just finding someone like Mike, and I know Sachi mentioned this as well, so at the risk of being repetitive, but who cares about your development and wants you to grow. He doesn't want you to be stuck in the same thing. And even if I decided next year to leave Easton, which I won't, but he would be like,
no,
man,
you might. It's okay.
he would be like, man, I'm so glad everything that we've taught you, and I want to send you out with just like the best experience possible and all the skills that you need to take on the world. And I think that's rare, to find a place that doesn't want to just help you to help themselves. They want to help you so that you can grow. And whether you end up sticking with them or not, it's that stewardship that we talk about in our core values. And it doesn't have to be that you're staying with Easton. And I think that's very unique.
God, it's so important. Because I think this is super important, because that is how I feel about the people close to me. And I know that's not you, right? It's not like we're friends, right? Like you come to my house on my birthday, but we're not like super tight. Like we're not sending each other memes and any of that, right? Or even like any of them. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be like that with everyone. I think this is a great example with the work environment, and like how we do it a little bit is like, look, I have my people a little bit. My people have their people.
Yeah.
You have your people. Like, I'm sure there are people that are like, damn, how Sarah makes me feel is amazing.
I hope so.
Right? Like, she wants what's best for me. Like maybe Tosh or Tatiana, or I don't know, you know, how she makes me feel. I just feel so fucking good that she wants the best for me. But then you have somebody like that.
Absolutely.
And I have somebody like that for me. Like there's people that I look up to, maybe not in the Easton organization, right? That I'm like, God damn, like that person is so fucking busy. And they help me. Like Henzo's that for me.
Right.
You know, like he sat down, like, man, he sat down and did a podcast with me. He was like on his way to the UAE because the prince called him and said, Henzo, you have to come tomorrow. You know? And Henzo was like, okay, but I got to do this podcast with Elliot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm great at that yet, but it's something that I'm always striving for. You know, I look at how the people who are, you know, that person to me have done stuff, and I'm trying to start to emulate that for, you know, Tosh or Andrew. And it's difficult, you know. Being a leader.
Well, what's difficult? Tell me, where do you find it to be so difficult?
So I guess
I'm not trying to say that it's not, but it's super difficult. I agree with you. I want to know where you find it difficult.
I think for me, it's kind of finding the difference between being bossy as a leadership and actually like developing people. Like growing up in school, I would, you know, be like the person leading the group project. Like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Okay, we got an A on it. But that doesn't necessarily make you a great leader just because you're bossy.
Yeah, anybody can do. I mean, some people can just do the work.
Yeah. So for me, it's learning to have the little conversations, really care about what people are doing, and then start to teach. And as a person who's not an instructor, it's new for me to get into that teaching mentality. It's easy for me to just sit in the office in Boulder and, you know, do my work. I'm doing a good job. Mike knows I'm doing a good job, but I'm not doing a service to everyone else if I just sit back there and I don't share what I'm doing.
But you're the AOD, right? Which again means
Academy Operations Director.
And then underneath you is the DFI, Director of First Impressions, right? And
Yep.
that's Andrew.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I try to go over this every time. I think I sound dumb that I go over it every time. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
but
well,
you know,
you might
I've
have
learned,
people who haven't listened.
right?
Yet,
People haven't listened. So Mike and I were talking about this morning. In some of the ways that we messed up as an organization when it's, on this topic here is we've taken people that have just been, and it's worked out so far, right? It's worked out, but when we're looking, at growing, we've taken people that were a good teacher, could do the front desk work, and could do this job and that job, and then we move them into a GM.
Right.
That is, I mean, it's gone okay.
Right.
But that's just somebody who can work.
Yes.
That's just somebody who can do tasks. And I think young Jamie over here has taken a little bit of a different path.
Yeah, a little bit.
Right? And your path. Right now, you said, I know you said you created your own job in the front desk manager.
Yeah.
Right? So that's not a task-oriented job. Tell us a little bit about like how you did that and what you did to become the front desk manager.
So it was kind of a joke at first. Denise had left. Sachi was working as the assistant manager, and I was kind of, the person who had been working at the front desk the longest. I was good at sales. I could do all of the tasks, but
You were good at sales despite me, right?
Despite
when I came in on like your second day and said, "Yo, bitch, sell me."
Yeah, that was terrifying. Yeah. I just started working there, and here's this large, over 6 foot.
I didn't say the B word.
You didn't say the B word, no.
Okay.
But just sat down, sell me, and I'm brand new, and I was like, join Easton. And you looked at Mike, and you're like, this girl's working for us? And Mike was like, no, she's better than that, I swear.
Right. I think I remember. I was like, Mike, really, man?
Yeah. But so it was... had been working the desk the longest. I started jokingly being like, well, I'm the front desk manager now because that's my personality. And, I like to joke around and push buttons and kind of see what I can get away with sometimes. And then they kind of were like, yeah.
I have another one of you. She lives with me.
Lucky you then. Yeah. So... lost my train of thought, but so kind of was like seeing what was going on. I liked Easton at that point. I could see myself sticking around maybe for like, a year or two after college now. Still wasn't looking at this as like a long-term thing, but I enjoyed it. I didn't want to do anything with my degree necessarily. I didn't want to keep going to school.
What was your degree?
Psychology.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah. Good with sales, but it's helpful. But so was seeing like what was going on, and then it really turned into I was working with people like Austin, Emily, Shay, who Austin was younger than me. Emily Howery. But they were older than me, and that was, interesting. Austin's younger than me, Emily, Shay, they're all older than me, so it was interesting to learn how to work with people who are older than me because I'm one of the younger people in the organization as well.
How old are you?
26.
Oh, you millennial.
Yep.
No, when were you born?
1993.
Oh, yeah, you just make millennial. You're not iGen yet.
I remember before the internet.
Yeah, I know. No, you don't.
I do.
You can't remember before the internet. The internet came out in 1995, girl.
Okay, well, I remember before like dial-up, and it was like a big thing. No one had computers in their house. I remember like the Nokia brick cell phones.
Yes.
I remember all that. So, I've got a little pre-knowledge in there.
You got just a touch.
Yeah, just a little. But it was the leadership piece and not just the tasks. Trying to figure out how to make sure that like everybody was happy with what they're doing and enjoying it as much as I did. Because the front desk gets a lot of turnover. It's one
not
of those.
Anymore.
It's getting better. Yeah, but there was a while there. Hiring from within people who were upset working the desk because they wanted to train. Dealing with things like that and that kind of like.
Let's touch on this for a second, right? I'm gonna pause on you right there because this is such a big thing. I got you, Jamie. Don't you fucking worry. This is such a big thing that I think we blow in our academy sometimes is you hire someone who doesn't understand that this is a dedicated front desk job, right? This is a dedicated job right now. There is no, I'm bored. Hey, you want to train?
Yeah.
And that's what was going on a little bit. That's what goes on a ton in a lot of jiu-jitsu schools. Why does that not work?
Well, I think it puts what's so important about the desk position on the back burner.
Okay, what's so important?
So it's doing the follow-ups. It's doing the grind of really reaching out with those people. That's something that I noticed that Easton did really well right off the bat is, man, we're not just going to have you reach out to us like, hey, you want to come take a class? We don't hear from you. We follow up maybe one more time and you fall off the mat. We're reaching out to these people over and over and over again. And that is, I think, really different from a lot of schools. And having that dedicated front desk to do that is, I think, one of the things that helped Boulder, double in size in a couple of years. When we moved to the new academy, we had the space to expand, but you needed the people to fill that space. And it's that dedicated front desk doing those calls. And that doesn't end just because you want to take a break and go train.
Right. I think both schools doubled in size when we opened new schools, like Denver.
Yeah.
Like Denver doubled as well. So because we had to get dedicated front desk.
Yes.
Like there was no more, you don't read your book. Right?
Yeah,
Because
no.
before the front desk, what the front desk used to look like was you would just like sit there to answer phone and
Check
like
people in.
check people in, but a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
A lot of downtime. But when you came on, when you and Sachi, who else was there in the beginning?
Sean Coe, who I got hired with.
Yeah, Sean. I remember Sean.
Like Sean a lot still.
I think she's still around.
She's
right?
still around.
She still
She's mentioned
trains.
coming back in, actually.
Yeah.
And then it was Shay, Precious, Heaven, Emily Howry, Austin, Dawson.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now a little different.
A little
you
different,
know, a
yeah.
little different. It's moved, but I think a lot because we learned.
We did.
You know, we learned that sometimes hiring your jiu-jitsu instructor that needs a little more money doesn't quite work.
No. I think one of the biggest things that Sachi and I went through with the hiring process for the front desk was, and Mike mentions this, I don't know if in the podcast or if I've just heard him say it, but hiring for attitude. You can teach the skills for the most part. Not everyone's going to be a great salesman or salesperson, but if that person comes in, has the right attitude, you can teach them those tasks. They start doing classes. They believe in the community. And then you kind of have a me, I guess.
Right.
So someone who has the right attitude can be taught everything else.
What is the right attitude?
I think it's being open to everything, like not being like, this is my job, I'm not going to do anything else. You know, like being willing to grind. You know, I have been frustrated in the past, someone saying like, oh, I've been on the weekend shifts for this long. I was like, I worked the weekend shifts for 2 years. You know, and like having that attitude of the whatever it takes, you know, and being there for the team, you know.
All of our jobs at Easton, I would say, are to make somebody else's job while working together easier. Right? So if you as the front desk person could go help the instructor, you do it.
Yeah.
Even if
absolutely.
it's not your job.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If the instructor's on the mat and he's like, oh, you know what? I got a little downtime. I bet you this would help the front desk person. Then they have to go do
Yeah.
it.
They go do laundry, fold hand towels.
Right. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. No one's job is laundry, except it is.
Yeah.
You know? No one's job is clean the mat, except it is. You know, and that's one of the big things that happens with Easton is there's no, and I think it's because we're a community.
Yes.
Because we like each other and we get along with each other and we appreciate each other. So,
I'm not going to resent you because I know who you are as a person. I know you're not asking me to do something just because, like, oh, she's less than me and she can do that job. That sucks.
sure, I asked you guys to buy a trash can the other day.
I did it.
I know you did. You know, I appreciate
Still
it.
smaller than the other ones.
It's
but
still smaller. I know.
Bigger.
I know. But like that, I mean, is that your, I don't know if that, is that your job or not your job or like, how does that, like,
I mean,
I don't know. I felt like we needed a trash
yeah,
can.
you asked and it was my job.
Right.
So
We joked about it a little
we
bit.
did a little bit.
It was fun. So let's move on to what it is that we are doing here with Easton.Online.
Yeah.
The three of us are the creators of the first Easton.Online course.
Yeah.
First impression specialists. So, and I would like to say that you really made this first impression specialist idea, that we don't even call it front desk anymore, right? The DFI, Director of First Impressions.
Right.
Because that's what we're doing. We're making a first impression. Explain how you cultivated it to that.
Yeah. I mean, so you're coming into the academy, you want to do classes, you've already signed up for your membership. We're not even talking about sales, but you've had a bad day at work. You know, you are sitting in traffic, you just want to go train, you walk in and it's, hey, Elliot, here for advanced tonight. And you go, I've walked in the door. That's what we're trying to embody with the front desk. It's the community that we've been talking about this whole podcast. And I think a lot in the last few months as we're really figuring out what our systems are. So cultivating that mentality at the front desk where it's learning everybody's names, knowing what they're here for. It goes beyond being able to sell a membership. It's making everyone feel welcome and being that place where people come when they're having a bad day and they're like, I'm here.
But you're the first person, the front desk, quote unquote, are the first people they see.
Yes. They're the first, literally they open the door and it's our lovely faces. Welcome to Easton.
Right.
And then, you know, someone walks in, they have their kid training at ABC climbing across the street, or they're just walking down and they're like, oh, I've seen this and I want to walk in. It's awesome. What's your name? I'm Sarah. Let me show you around. what made you walk in? Just because you wanted to see it? Have you done martial arts before? Just, really caring about why someone stepped in the door.
Like, it's all these things, and yes, the goal is to make them become a member, but we don't go about it by making them become a member.
No.
We go about it by learning the person.
Yes. And then everything follows,
Right. Build rapport. Right? Building rapport. So, and you've cultivated a system for building rapport.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit.
So building rapport, it's really just asking questions and listening to the answers. People get in the habit of saying, oh, hi, I'm Sarah, what's your name? And then you immediately forget their name. So you're asking questions, you're listening to it, you're keeping notes on that. We have our systemized follow-up, but you are building rapport, asking them the big why is what you're trying to get to. So someone can say, oh, I came in because I want to get in shape. Could be a lot behind that.
Right. You don't just stop right there.
No. You're like, oh, like, what are you doing to work out now? Have you done sports in the past? Asking those open-ended questions where they have to give you some answers. And there could be reasons why people want to come in that they don't want to talk about. And building rapport is going to help you get to that. I, might not want to come in and be like, oh, I was attacked.
And you're not telling somebody that right away.
No.
Not even close.
No, absolutely not. So building rapport, figuring out really the why for why someone wants to come in.
You might never figure out that why, though.
You might not. They might be very secretive about it.
They might not tell you that.
But in the community and you just showing that you actually care, it's going to do the same thing for them, whether they feel open with sharing.
So I know from doing this podcast that a lot of times this listening thing you're talking about, a lot of times we just want to shut up just for a small enough amount of time so that we can make our next point.
Yes.
Right? Like, okay, I have to give space for them to talk, so I won't listen to a word they fucking say because my next point is going to be this. Like, I've gone on other people's podcasts and it's god awful. Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck do you have a podcast? You can't listen for shit. And I do that sometimes. So this is something that I'm working on.
I can't remember what it's from. It was an email Mike Versace sent out from a blog, and something that they talked about was listening to react versus listening to understand. So when you're listening to react, it's all about what your next point is going to be. And me being an argumentative person, someone who always has an opinion, I'm always like, what am I going to say to respond to this? And so that's something that I've tried to work on a lot too, is instead of thinking, how am I going to respond to this? What are you actually saying?
You've brought it up a couple times now, so let's talk about it. You being an argumentative person. And I think a little bit you fall on the opposite side of the spectrum of me and Mike on some things, you know?
Yeah.
How do you deal with us? Like, I guess, so let's talk about you first. How do you deal with us? And then how do people get along in the workplace?
Right.
When we have such we're not that vastly different. You're just
on
a millennial.
Things,
it's not your fault.
Yeah.
When you have such vastly different viewpoints. So how can you actually work together?
Well, I think the comfort is a big thing. Because, for a while, like, I wouldn't have dared to disagree with you because we just weren't on that same space. Right. We didn't know each other. I hadn't really interacted with you that much except like, hey, Elliot.
How'd you get comfortable with me then? Because I'm fucking loud. I'm brash. I scream. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of maybe what I screamed about, you disagreed with, especially some of my banter,
a little bit,
which I don't even believe in 90% of the time. But like that can be super intimidating. So how did you get good with me?
I think working with you more has been helpful. Working on Easton.Online, the first impression specialist, when it was like, hey, you want to come over? And like, I was like, oh, okay. I'd come over for the birthday party before, but that was a big East, there's a lot of Easton people there. And it was kind of like, oh, Sarah knows Mike and then maybe I'll invite her. I don't know what your viewpoint was. We hadn't really interacted that much. So, I think coming and actually like working with you and kind of hearing other people's stories about like, the fire marshal versus Elliot, I guess. And like, Mike saying, like, Elliot is actually this really nice, like, guy who's, like, understanding and listens. And I guess hearing that a little bit made me feel a little more comfortable. And I guess it has to just be interacting more together.
I think, man, one of my students just came up to me, and we were talking, and he's like, sometimes when you don't know someone, and it's like what you just said about Mike there, when you don't know somebody and you're unsure if they're, like, a solid person or not a solid person, remove one step. Look at the 5 people they surround themselves with, right. and do you love those 5 people? Like, do you trust those people?
Right.
And if that answer's yes, Like for you, it's Mike. So you probably gave me a chance because you're like, God damn, Mike really loves him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's got to be something about that asshole then.
Right. He can't be, as loud and abrasive, actually, I mean, he is, but not.
I am.
Yeah, you are. But yeah. And so I guess getting more comfortable just voicing my opinion and feeling like, oh, it's okay if I have a differing opinion than you. I'm not going to get fired for that.
Right. Oh, God, no.
Yeah. So knowing that I'm comfortable with that. And I guess for me, with you guys having differing viewpoints, it's trying to, I like to debate. I guess argumentative can be a negative connotation. I like to debate.
You like to debate.
I like
And
to
as
debate.
do I. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to sit down, have a calm conversation where nobody raises their voices.
No, that
And-
ain't East Coast, girl. That ain't East Coast. Whoever's loudest is the rightest.
Yeah, and I'm going to present my ideas and I'm going to try and change your mind. And I really enjoy that. Some of my close friends from college, we talk politics and we have very differing viewpoints. I'm fairly liberal. They're a libertarian, no government, anything. And
I just
we
beat
have
Foster's ass.
Yeah.
I beat Foster's ass
Yeah.
and then I tell him what the truth is.
But it's fun. I enjoy that. So I guess with you and Mike having those differing viewpoints, for me, I think of it kind of as a challenge. How can I intellectually lay out my viewpoints and try to change your mind?
God, it's
kind
so
of a
great
game.
because I don't think we're that different.
No, we're not.
I bet you we have never voted differently.
Probably not. No.
Right? We have never voted differently. So when we talk about like different viewpoints that we have, but we still
We
have
like to
these,
play devil's
We like to
advocate.
play devil's advocate. Sometimes I just argue for arguing's sake.
Exactly.
I think you do too.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's like, okay, Sarah, stop. We're on the same page. I'm like, but someone else might say this and we have to think about it from this viewpoint. He's like, nope, we're done.
Let's talk about a workplace thing where we did disagree and how we all moved through that. The sensitivity training.
Right.
I did not like the beginning. Like I really didn't like the beginning.
Yeah.
And you kind of liked it,
Yeah.
I'll be super honest here. I thought it was awful. Right? I thought it was really, really terrible. And I felt like we needed to have a meeting.
Yes.
And we did.
We did. We had a meeting.
How did it go for you?
I think it went well. Something that I try to work on with my liking to debate is letting other people voice their viewpoints and not just jumping in and being like, no, this is why this is this.
Right.
So I enjoyed that we had, Tosh from the front desk in there, Ian as like the calm presence there, you and Mike, strong opinions on it. I had strong opinions on it. Sachi and I were probably on the same page. So it was a bunch of different personalities from all different levels in the organization. Tosh being front desk, you being one of the owners, Mike being president, kind of just sitting there and having a rational conversation about what we wanted from it. And that was where we were able to come together, I think.
I think this was here a super great point that we have to talk about here. So you're the one who did the work to set it up.
I did.
And I'm the one, Mike and I were the ones that didn't like it.
Yep.
So we had to come in with some understanding of your point of view.
Yes.
And you had to come in with some understanding of our point of view.
Yeah. I did not take it
You
personally.
had to not take it personally, right? And then Mike and I had to not be like, yo, you fucked this up.
Right.
Because it wasn't a fuck up. It was just a good learning point.
Yeah.
And that's how I think we have to approach a lot of things in our business when we're doing things with people that we do disagree with sometimes. It doesn't have to be a you fucked this up.
No.
It can be like a, hey, I didn't quite like how this went down. Can we talk about what you were thinking in the beginning?
Yeah. So we were having some things in the academies that we thought we needed this. We changed it from sensitivity to core values and responsibility training. We wanted it.
Is that what we called it right
That's
away?
what we called it. No, we called it sensitivity training first.
In Boulder.
In Boulder.
Right.
And then we changed it because sensitivity training, you guys were like, oh, that sounds, like, oh, let's be sensitive.
Well, I want to make people anti-fragile.
Yes.
So you can't be sensitive if you're
Nope.
anti-fragile.
So our core values and responsibility training, which is what we needed everyone to be on the same page about in the organization, was the core values and what those meant.
Explain to everybody what a core value is again.
So it's the things that you're willing to lose friends and money over. And we had lost some friends and maybe some money over these core values, and it was creating tension in the academy. I know especially in Boulder, it was right after the individual that you and Mike and everyone were all friends with was asked to leave.
Right. That
And
sucked.
he was someone who had been in the community, 3 times as long as I had, and was a kind of integral part of a lot of people's journey in martial arts. And so there was tension about that among the staff, among the students. And so we wanted to have a training to kind of talk about what Easton was trying to really I guess, lay the gauntlet down about, the things that we thought were super important and how we were going to grow. And so that was not necessarily expressed 100% in the first training that we all had. It was more of like a general, I think microaggressions were the things that one of the big topics, the hot button one that everyone hated. And for me, I was like, okay, yeah, like microaggressions, sure. But like, what's the bigger message that they're trying to put out there is that what you say can have an impact on people that you don't intend. And that's where we, I think, kind of came together and we're like, yeah, screw microaggressions, impact versus intent.
Right. Yes. They talked like, for me in that meeting, they talked way too much about microaggressions,
right,
and less about, hey, let's try to have, this is some Huddleston right here, more skillful conversations so that we can get to the results that we want to have.
It's beautifully said.
And that's what we want to do, right? I don't believe in microaggressions.
Right.
And I believe that we macroaggress.
You macroaggress.
So the whole school macroaggresses.
do too,
We do.
yeah.
No, we do. We are a macroaggressing community.
Yes.
And I think personally that is very, very good for individuals.
Yeah.
I don't believe that macroaggress emotionally is necessarily, right? Like the pressure that we apply to people is super important. And the idea of microaggressing, like me asking you where you're from,
right.
And these are some of the things that I got hung up on.
Right.
Right.
Like as a coach, when someone comes in, like, oh, where are you from?
Right.
It's a very easy first question.
It's a way to lead into a goddamn question.
Yeah.
It's like to find out more about the person. Like, okay, so this is where you're from. You've probably never, you are from East Jabip. You have never seen jiu-jitsu before in your life.
Nope.
Right. Like, like
Yeah.
it helps gain information. So we had to move on from that, right? And everyone starts out sometimes so defensive.
Yes.
And I think that was the good thing that you brought it up about bringing Tosh into the room, bringing, who else was in the room? Ian into the room, who didn't even hear
he wasn't in the training.
He wasn't even in the training,
Nope.
right? You have to sometimes bring your other people in so everyone can feel comfortable.
Yes.
Mike and I think you were in the room too, weren't you, Jamie?
Yeah.
Mike and I get him to laugh every time. Mike and I and Jordan, because I think Jordan disagreed with it too, we couldn't just sit down with you and be like, hey,
yeah,
we knew we needed some Sarah team.
yes.
So that's a really important thing. And I would like to say that probably helped the room feel more comfortable.
Absolutely. And I mean, we got good results from it. We hammered out what we wanted from the training.
Exactly.
We were able to be calm and rational about it. And I think the trainings moving forward, I didn't go to any other academies, but I've heard that they were good.
I heard they were good.
So
yeah. And now and now here's a great point. I had to trust you that you were going to handle your shit
right.
and do what I asked,
yes.
and not just sit there and like, well, I didn't go to any more trainings. I just trusted you.
Yep.
Even though we might have disagreed on the issue, right? We still might disagree on the issue a little bit.
Maybe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But a point of leadership and just what you have to do with your employees, you give them a task and you can't be up their ass.
No, that's been hard for me.
Yeah, me too.
With Andrew and I have definitely had some tension there.
Because why?
Andrew's
the DFI.
Yep, and I was in his position. So
right.
He's director of first impressions, what used to be the front desk manager. And, stepping back from that and having him do things not the way that I would do them.
Oh, God.
Doesn't mean they're bad.
Oh, no.
Right? But it's hard. That's your baby. I was working the front desk for 4 years. It's a long time. To go from, working part-time on the weekends to running that and like having my expectation of how things are going to go and how things are going to work well to letting someone else do their own thing.
My wife and I. So like this is a perfect example of right and wrong. Your way, my way.
Yeah.
If you stood on this end of the table and I stood on this end of the table and we needed to move the table.
Right.
You would move left, I would move right, and nothing would move, right? We'd be fighting against each other.
Yep.
My wife likes to tell me I'm wrong.
Like, oh.
And I'm like, well, no, I'm just moving the opposite way of you. We have to move the same way.
Yeah.
And look, then I start getting mad and blah, 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 blah. It goes terrible, right? Between the both of us. But we've learned. We've learned, hey, which way are you going to move? And then the other person can counter.
Yeah.
So you sometimes just have to ask Andrew, hey, man, how are you going to do this?
Right. And that's that communication piece that I could definitely be better at. you know.
Yeah, me too. Well, because you just expect the person to do it like you. But that's what make it, because the truth, Alex Huddleston, from your perspective is the truth. It's not, it's your truth.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily
everyone.
somebody else's.
So it's one of those difficult things about leading that I'm still figuring out. So
How are you working on it?
So Mike gave me a task I have yet to succeed, I don't think.
Sarah.
Is to not give my opinion for 24 hours.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I've been pretty good. And as the AOD,
What's that?
So I don't think I could do that.
it's hard.
Not give your opinion?
For 24 hours.
What if somebody asks what you want to eat for dinner?
Well, I think that's different.
Okay.
So maybe the spirit of the task isn't necessarily to be so literal, but to be, okay, let everyone figure out their own thing for 24 hours and realize that nothing burns down. So I turned to Matt afterwards, Matt, the GM in Boulder, and I said, hey,
We haven't done Maddie B yet, have we?
Done Maddie, no.
God damn, we got to do Maddie B, because Maddie B has the hardest job.
Amen.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I turned to him and I said, hey, if you hear me, give me a look, because it's you don't even think about it. So
It's so natural to you.
So working on that, trying to, even if I think someone's making a mistake, not swoop in. I'm trying to, like I said, come out of the office and teach. Take, 5 minutes every hour to go walk around, because it's easy in the office in the Boulder Academy to just stay back there. And, I'll get people like, oh, I didn't know you worked here anymore. I'm like,
In
yep.
Boulder and Denver, it's so easy because the office is separated.
Yep. Yeah. But you get people like, oh, I didn't know you worked here anymore. You're like, ooh, that's not great.
That's not good. It's okay if you're the DFI maybe, but it's not okay, especially not if you're the AOD.
No. Yeah. And it's easy because it's all admin. And then I guess as the AOD, taking the step back from managing people to doing admin, it's hard because Mike, with the AOD and the GM positions, when you're at a school the size of Boulder and you have both the DFI and the AOD is admin. So you're doing all of those things. It's not necessarily my job to go in and handle hard conversations. That's Matt's job. And, I want to do it because I was in that DFI position and I want to be good at that because I want to further my development, but it's a hard line to walk.
And as far as like the giving your opinion and correcting people all the time thing, how did you learn the best?
Like learn the best growing up in school, or like how did I learn
Just
not to do
in
that?
general, how do humans learn the best, do you think?
Well, for me personally, it's repetition. But
And in those repetitions, do you do it well at first, or do you do
No,
it poorly?
you fail first.
So you fail first.
Yeah.
And I think everyone learns like that. Like you need these repetitions where you just fuck it up. And if we stop their failure,
Yep.
a lot, right? And I think we do that sometimes. We go in, especially like you and I, who are super type A, think we're fucking right all the time, as we've already discussed. We go and we go, nope, this is the way to do it. This is how it's done.
Yeah.
And we're stopping that person from learning the tasks that they
Absolutely.
need, the little things of what not to say.
Not being a good steward.
Not being a good steward, the Steward of Gondor. That's that.
Oh yeah,
the Lord
that's what
the
I think
Ring.
of every time.
Me too. That's what I think of every time now.
Yep.
We just 2 days ago we just did it, right? The Steward. So
Yeah.
We'll tell the story real fast on the podcast too. The Steward of Gondor, right? So if you Lord of the Ring nerds,
Oh yeah.
the Steward of Gondor was supposed to just hold the position in time for the king, but he wanted to be the king.
He did.
And so he was not a steward. He was acting as king, even though he wasn't the rightful king. And things just fell apart.
Bad
right?
steward.
Just bad steward. We always want to take somebody to the next level.
Yeah. Trying to replace yourself.
Yes, that's it. Well, I can't, like, if you're an amazing AOD and just, such a good AOD, and you want to move to a GM because that's the next position up possibly. Well, shit, I can't do that if you haven't made somebody get ready to take your spot.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we're all focusing a lot on right now is that bench strength.
Right, everywhere, right?
Everywhere, every position.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Shit, what are we going to do if Mike gets hit by a bus tomorrow?
Ooh,
Close the schools?
it's not what he would want.
It's not what he would want.
No.
Right? But that's not my job. That's his job.
So.
Right? That's Mike's job. That is not my job to create another CEO or president. That's Mike's job.
Yeah.
You have to replace yourself. But that's so scary.
It is.
Why is
you
this-
want to feel valued. You want to feel like you're, I go on vacation, like, oh, things fell apart and you weren't there. That feels good. But that's not what we want. You want people to be able to function without you. And that's how the business is going to grow. it can be a little bit of a hit to your ego, but it's maybe what you need to do.
Oh, that you're not needed.
Yeah, that you're not needed.
Right? That you're that you could just leave.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's satisfying to be like, oh, we needed you. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel important, but it's not productive in the long run.
They should want you.
Yes.
Right? You don't want someone to need you, even in a personal relationship, right?
No.
I don't want my wife to need me. That sucks.
And yeah, some serious codependency issues.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I call Mike and Ian now when I'm going to Hawaii in a couple hours. Well, tomorrow I'm going to Hawaii, but today we leave to California.
Yeah.
I don't call the school to be like, yo, how's it going?
Yeah.
What are the numbers?
Yeah.
How many people do we sign up? I don't do that.
Tell me about that sales funnel.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I call Mike and Ian when I'm on vacation as like my homies. Yeah, what you guys doing?
Yeah.
Like, we probably won't talk.
Nope.
But we don't call each other like that.
No.
I'll probably call Jordan, talk about some coffee.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. Hawaii has good coffee.
Kona has it's got the mountain right there. It's such delicious coffee. It's fucking expensive. $20 a pound. $20 a pound, and man, it goes fast too.
Yeah.
Spend but so that's a huge thing. You want, like you were saying, you want things to fall apart. Your ego does, but you got to get rid of that.
Yes. It's hard.
Why is it hard?
I think everybody wants to feel wanted and needed, regardless of whether it's healthy for you. You can get into like psychology here, and wanting to feel like you're important, it validates yourself and it makes you feel good, and you can walk with a higher head in the world knowing that you're needed and you're wanted. And so I think separating that a little bit from, I can still be important if they can still function without me.
Oh, that's such a good point there. Where I can be important, but I'm not needed.
Yes.
Right? That's a huge distinction you just made. I can be important, but I'm not needed. They don't need me here.
No.
But I am an integral, important part to the team.
Yes.
I really like that. I think we're going to cut it right there.
There you go.
That was a great place to stop,
Yeah.
So thanks, Sarah.
Wisdom.
Was it as bad as you thought?
No, it was fine. Yeah. I was like, gosh, I wear a sweater. I might sweat, but I'm good.
No, you're good. Nobody will see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could be sweating like a pig right now, and
Nope.
we wouldn't even know.
Composed.
Yeah. Let me ask you, is it me that's nervous? Because I know for Peter, it was me.
No, it wasn't you. Like I said, I feel like I've gotten pretty comfortable with you in the last year.
Right.
We're good. I think more it was, so we talk about like feeling important, feeling needed. I didn't know if I had anything like to contribute. I was like, what I have to say is not going to be useful for other people out there. But
I think everyone's story is useful.
yeah. So it was that. It was like,
Right.
I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
I don't know what you're going to talk about. I didn't know what you were going to talk about either.
Yeah.
But I think this is the Joe Rogan effect. This is what Rogan's done so well, is that he's just told people's stories. He's let them tell their story.
Yeah.
And just like we like to be needed, I think we think that we're unique a lot. We're different than everyone else. And we're not.
Yeah.
There's somebody out there that's exactly like us. Maybe not our DNA, but they're dealing with the same issues. They're struggling with the same things. There's another jiu-jitsu school that's struggling just how Boulder's struggling. They're struggling just how Centennial's struggling, or Littleton or Denver. Maybe not all of them, but one of them.
Absolutely.
So when they can hear the stories about what it's like to how one person mitigates their suffering and struggle, then we can see that, like, damn. And that's all I like to do personally.
Totally. And it's all the unique perspectives, being a woman, being younger.
Being younger.
It's someone out there like that.
Someone out there. There's another Sarah just like you. Maybe not with your name,
but
who's trying to do the
Sarah's
same
pretty
thing.
common, so there's a
good chance. There's a good chance.
There's a good chance.
There's a good chance. There's another Sarah.
Yeah.
SR. Sarah. I always fuck up your last name.
Rochniak.
I always say Rochniak. I don't know why I think there's a fucking Z in it.
CH. Yep.
All right, Sarah. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
I appreciate you making this happen short notice.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. She's like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good experience. It was a growing experience. So.
Yes, and I'm a little flustered. I don't know if this was the best one. You'll tell me, Jordan. Because I'm crazy. My life's been like all over the place trying to get stuff done before I leave. So we shall see what the people say.
Absolutely.
The market determines your success.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, guys. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you.